Yo, so how's it going, guys? It's your boy LaazrGaming. Welcome back to another GTA 5 video. So as I'm sure all of you guys are aware, Rockstar Games released a epic DLC a couple of days ago which included a bunch of brand new vehicles, clothing, offices, garages, warehouses. I've actually covered every single thing to do with this DLC content on my channel, so if you haven't seen those videos, do be sure to go and check them out. Nonetheless, if you guys aren't aware, every big DLC, including the bikers one and the finance and felony one, I've put together a big massive money making guide fully breaking down the best ways to maximize your money, as well as answering any questions that you guys might have to save you guys money, and how to best play this new DLC making money to do with your current bank balance. So anyone that tried to put out a similar video like this in the first day of the release of the DLC has probably left out a bunch of stuff and just talked shit to you guys just trying to get early views. I've literally been smashing this DLC out for the past 3 days straight, buying and selling vehicles and working out the best way for you guys to maximize your money. So do be sure to watch this video all the way through so you guys have no questions that need answering. You'll be able to jump on GTA 5 online straight away and literally start making millions from this method. As always, a like is highly appreciated, especially on this video considering it took me so long to put together. And also, if you guys are new, do feel free to subscribe as I do post daily GTA 5 videos. Without further ado, let's get into the money guide. Okay, so before you guys can start importing and exporting cars to make some serious money, you will need to own an office in GTA 5 online. So you can do so through purchasing one through the Dynasty 8 website. Now there is 4 different types of offices to choose from, and they are all identical. So if you guys are on a budget, I would suggest buying the cheapest one to save you guys money, as you guys are going to be looking to make the most money out of using this method. So now you guys own an office, you'll have to purchase a vehicle warehouse. This is where we're going to be stocking our stolen vehicles as well as selling our vehicles from the laptop in the warehouse. So it's very similar to how we buy the warehouses to stock our crates, which came out the finance and felony update. However, there is quite a few different changes. So to purchase a vehicle warehouse, you guys will have to go over to the computer in your office and make the purchase through this computer. Now as soon as you guys purchase the vehicle warehouse, your assistant will give you guys a little rundown and a mini introduction of some of the features available from the warehouse. So I'll play this out for you guys quickly just so you guys have a better idea and an understanding.
Okay, you logged on? The homepage should be showing you 3 options: special cargo, vehicle cargo, and special vehicle work. Special cargo's as it was before, the standard SecuroServe contraband system. Vehicle cargo's their new offering. You purchase a vehicle warehouse, then SecuroServe puts you onto different cars in the area to source. Once you source the cars, you warehouse them and sell them onto a highly vetted customer base when you want to. Special vehicle work's a little different. These are complex operations SecuroServe have planned and prepared for clients, using state-of-the-art customized vehicles. They trust only their best performers with these tasks, so we'll need to make some headway with vehicle cargo before taking this on. Nothing new here, boss. Same as always. Vehicle cargo. Okay, if you want to start trading, you're going to need warehouse space to store the cars. See what's on the market and make your purchase.
Okay, now you guys are going to purchase your vehicle warehouse. You will notice these warehouses vary in price range from the cheapest one in La Mesa at 1.5 million to the most expensive one in Morea Heights for 2.8 million, so practically double the price of the cheapest one. Now the only difference between all of these vehicle warehouses is the location of the building and the look of the building. So as you guys can see right now, all of the buildings have a capacity of only holding 40 vehicles. Now initially you might think buying the most expensive one will give you guys a strategical advantage, and honestly I found that not to be the case. As you guys can see on this image right here, the most expensive one is less than a mile down the road from the most cheapest one. Now the reason the warehouse is cheap is because it's located in this Mexican ghetto in La Mesa, but honestly I think this is a blessing in disguise, because if you guys are getting random online players to hang around your website trying to rob you or trying to blow up your cars, I will fully explain how much you get, by the way, for stealing cars and blowing them up and all that stuff. I'm going to be covering every single thing in this video. But as I was saying, if you guys do have a lot of people waiting around outside your warehouse, let's say you're in a full lobby, because your warehouse is in La Mesa, by these players hanging around in this section, it's actually going to trigger off a gang war. Just by hanging around this area, some Mexicans will say like, "You don't belong around here, Holmes." Next thing you know, gunshots will lick off and about 30 Mexicans will appear on the GPS going to attack them. So I would rather have a warehouse in one of these ghettos to stop these players hanging around my warehouse, rather than in the Vinewood Hills in some posh and pristine area where it's going to be very easy for online players to come at me and blow me up and steal my vehicles. Okay, so once you guys have purchased a warehouse, you can choose of one of 3 different interiors: basic, urban, or branded. Now don't worry if you guys can't afford the one that you do want, you'll be able to change this later on in the game, so you can come back and just click renovate your warehouse. So once you guys have purchased your warehouse and you own an office, you're ready to start stealing and selling vehicles, or import and export as Rockstar says. Now to do so, you will need to go to the laptop in your office and select source vehicle. This will start the first part of the operation, which will be go to find the vehicle, simply steal it and take it back to your warehouse. Now there can be a wide variation of source vehicle missions, just like the crate missions. Some of these can be extremely easy, no stress. You literally go and pick up a vehicle, take it back, you have no enemies on you, very easy. And then you do have the ones that can be quite tedious and can end up costing you guys quite a lot of money, to the point where you actually lose money instead of making money. So like I've mentioned already, I've spent the last 3 days straight on this game, and I've played all of the different styles of source vehicle missions a few times, so I won't bother showing you guys all of the different style of missions, as some of them are very easy. There's no point if you're doing so. However, I will run through a few tips and a few tricks that I found helped me out majorly when doing these missions, that saved me a bunch of money. So it is worth mentioning, every source vehicle, when you guys go to source a vehicle or find out where a vehicle is, this is going to cost you guys nothing. So this is the major difference between this and the crates. As you guys probably know, when you do the crates, you have to put an upfront fee of either $2,000, $8,000, or $18,000, which would get you guys back money once you've made the sale. But initially, you guys are putting up money. Unlike this way, if the car gets destroyed or you guys fail the mission, it will lower your success rate on your computer, which will have a knock-on effect to the type of vehicles you do get. But as far as money, you guys will be losing no money whatsoever. So as you guys can see, once you've sourced the vehicle, it will tell you guys what type of vehicle it is. You'll also receive a text or a phone call from your assistant telling you guys the style of mission it can be. So like I said, you're going to get different styles of options. I'll show you guys a few different styles of the more harder ones, but the easy ones that you can see on screen are like, go to this area, the car's going to be driving around, you can either pull up in front of it or pick your shots and get a headshot on the guy and steal the vehicle and then bring it to your warehouse. Now it is worth mentioning, you don't want to crash into the guy's vehicle and try and ram him off the road, because there is going to be a repair cost for this vehicle. Now another important point is, this is part of the SecuroServe website or the SecuroServe system, so you can either do these solo, as I'm doing on screen right now. All of these missions can be done solo very easily if you guys are a good enough player, or they can be done with up to 4 players, so you can get a friend to follow you in a buzzard, is what I end up doing. Or like I said, if you guys own a Kuruma, these are very easy to do in a Kuruma, so I definitely suggest investing in a Kuruma if you guys don't already own one. They're very cheap, and considering how overpowered they are, you guys will have nothing to complain about. So as you guys can see on screen, I've arrived at the location at the T20. Now as I mentioned to you guys, you don't want to crash into the vehicle, because you guys won't see the repair cost until you jump in the vehicle. So you might think doing this, what I just done, is okay by crashing into it and then shooting him. That has actually cost me $2,000 before I've really even started the mission. Now this is the easiest style of mission, so realistically you should have a repair cost of $0. As you guys can see, there is no enemies chasing me, there's no helicopters chasing me. Some missions you will get enemies attacking you down. Now I'm going to show you guys gameplay as well as giving you guys a little tip of what to do when you get those style of missions. However, if you guys don't get enemies chasing you down, another option that you're about to see is the police will come after you. Now the great thing about these style of missions is that they are based in free roam, so a lot of the free roam abilities are also available to us. Now if you guys can lose the cops naturally, like if you're not in sight of them, go ahead and do so. However, to cause yourself less stress and just get this out of the way, I would suggest calling Leicester, only spending $500 and then removing the cops straight away, because the cops are going to shoot at your vehicle. Every bullet they hit your vehicle with is going to cost you guys a repair cost. So as you guys can see, I was about to lose them, then I thought to myself, there's no point, rather just waste $500, which is practically nothing compared to the money that we're going to be making back from doing this method. So just try not to crash the vehicle, take your time. As you guys can see in the bottom right, I've arrived back at my warehouse and I've literally acquired no extra repair cost to the one that I started off with by crashing into the car to steal it. Now this was my actual first ever steal mission, so I thought it was worth testing if you can get a repair cost before actually robbing the vehicle, which you can. So that's very important, you do want to take note of that. So just pull up in front of the car and then drag them out. Now once you guys steal your first vehicle, you will get another little mini introduction from your assistant, kind of explaining what you can do from your warehouse. So I'll quickly play this out for you guys.
Let me show you around. We're gonna store all our vehicle cargo here before selling it. We can fit 40 cars in here. We got a vending machine and some personal space back there for getting some shut-eye and changing your clothes. When you bring a car back, it'll get fixed up and listed on Ad Hoc's Autos. When you access the website from the laptop on the desk, you'll see your current stock of cars and be able to select how many you want to offload and to who. The amount you can sell at any one time is dependent on how many associates you got on hand. If we want to chase the bigger commissions, we're going to need to modify the cars to the bigger buyer specifications, remove trackers, change paint jobs, rims, apply other mods. Different buyers got different requirements. The mechanic's on site to handle all that. It's an independent operator, so it costs to repair stolen cars that come in damaged, and to do the mods. But believe me, it makes life easy. And you see the door over there? That'll take you all the way down to the underground facility. You renovated down there, so there's somewhere to store any of those big, unwieldy modified vehicles off the Warstock site. Only place to accommodate anything from a huge Phantom Wedge to an amphibious Blazer Aqua. And that's it. We should get to work. The more vehicle cargo we move, the more of an interest SecuroServe's gonna take in the company. We steal enough cars, they'll throw us some special vehicle work. Come by the office when you want to source that next car. See you, boss.
Okay, so now we've actually got a stolen vehicle in our vehicle warehouse we can start selling. However, by far the best method to do is stock up as many vehicles as you can. I repeat, you do not want to sell these vehicles individually just yet. This will make much more sense towards the end of the video when I can actually show you guys, when I've got a full warehouse, the valuation of certain vehicles compared to if I was to sell them individually or as a group of 4 or as a collection. Now, as you guys can see, unfortunately we can't drive these vehicles around. Imagine how sick this DLC would be if we could access each of these vehicles for like a little 20 minutes in the game. Just cap it off at a certain amount of time, but just allowing us to drive them around, because you will notice these cars come with some sick paint jobs. And speaking about paint jobs, I will have a new paint jobs video up tomorrow or over the weekend, so stay tuned for that. Now, as I did briefly mention, there is 4 different ways you guys can make a sale, and each car could be making you more money depending on the way that you sell it. This will make much more sense towards the end of the video once I can show you guys examples of all of my cars on the laptop. But to keep it very precise and simple, you guys can get several different versions of the same car. So for example, I can have a Z-Type called Z-Type CEO or Z-Type Big Money. So some of them I might be better off selling as a collection, and some of them I'm better off selling by adding extra mods and getting a higher valuation. But as I did mention, you'd want to try and avoid making any sales till you at least got your garage with about 20 to 10 cars. You guys won't have money straight away, but in the long run, you'll be making so much more money more easily. It's definitely worth doing. So before I get into the best ways of selling the cars at the end of the video, as you guys can see, I'm just gonna give you guys a brief example. I've only got one car in my garage right now, so I'm gonna play out the little mini introduction, then I'll be back in a second to give you guys a full breakdown.
Okay, boss, you want to sell something? You're in the right place. We log everything that comes in on the site, so you can see what we got in the warehouse. Select a vehicle, and it goes up on the export list at the top of the page. You can sell up to 4 vehicles at a time if you've got the drivers here in the warehouse. When the cars you want to sell are selected, confirm, and the system will search available buyers.
So it's impossible for me to sell as a collection. Collections will give you guys a bonus for having a certain amount of cars in that collection in your inventory. So as you guys can see, I've only got one car, so I can't sell as a collection. However, I can sell 3 different other ways. I can sell it as a bog standard car the way I got it, which will be earning me $40,000 commission, which is pretty epic considering all I had to do was go and pick it up and bring it back to my warehouse. That's basically selling to a private owner. We can sell to a showroom, which is like a car dealership. However, we do have to invest another 10 grand in the car. However, instead of making $40,000, we're going to be making back $70,000 minus the $10,000, so we're going to be making 60 instead of 40. So it's definitely worth investing if you guys have got the money around, because you're going to be making it back easily for doing the exact same thing. And finally, you guys will have the option to sell to a specialist dealer, which will need you guys to invest $20,000 in the car, but you will be receiving back $100,000, so it's increasing your profit again by another 20k, taking your total commission to 80k, which is just mind-blowing for such an easy and straightforward mission. Now, if this seemed good enough as it is, this isn't even the best way to be selling. Believe you me, I've been smashing this thing out for literally since its release, and I definitely have clocked on to the best thing that all of you guys should be doing. Now, originally you might have noticed I was getting 40,000 commission by selling it just as itself. That's because this is called a high-end car. Obviously, the supercars and the sports cars are going to be high-end. You're going to have mid-range cars and you're going to have low-end cars. These are going to range from commission all the way from from 15k for the lowest all the way up to 40k. Then obviously, like I mentioned, you guys have the potential to invest in the car and increase the profit. However, I'm going to show you guys something else later towards the video once I've got more cars and how to sell like a collection and make sure you guys can get the right cars that you need to complete your collections. So as I did mention earlier, there is a few different style of steal missions, so I'll quickly run through a few of these just to give you guys a heads up in case you guys are having trouble with these. A quick example of one method I've already used is just to find one other player and do all of these missions 2-man up. So if both of you guys own the vehicle warehouses, maybe do 5 for one of you and then do 5 for another one, because this will practically guarantee you guys are able to deliver it. And if you guys own a buzzard, like I said, you can literally just call it in through the Securo Serve menu for free instead of ordering it through your assistant, saving you guys a couple $100. Of course, every penny counts with this new DLC. Now you actually want to just do as I do on screen, just follow your friend, hover over them, because there is going to be enemies coming at you. Now you don't want to shoot your rockets when your friend is right next to the enemy, because as you guys see there, I ended up causing $1,000 damage. I've noticed a lot of people do this when they're in the heli. They just get rocket happy and they start triggering the thing off left and right. As long as your friend who's driving the car is moving left and right, just keep on moving left and right. I'll show you guys an example of this later in the video. It will avoid a shit ton of bullet damage, especially against the helicopters. You might think initially when you're getting chased by a helicopter, oh shit, wait, should I get out, get my homing launcher and shoot it down? Nope, that isn't the best method. The best method is just to speed it and then keep dodging left and right. But as I mentioned, you guys can take a few risks, like as far as crashing if it is a high-end vehicle, because a lot of guys wasn't knowing about the different price ranges right at the start. But anything under like 4k damage for a top range vehicle is still making very, very good money. So like I said, the good thing about this DLC is it is different for every player. Like certain drivers are going to have a certain bit of advantage, and then the guys who have more players online will have an advantage. Everyone has their little bits of advantage with this new DLC, making it extra epic. And I have noticed these source vehicle missions are very, very quick. I average on doing them under 5 minutes, and I believe the longest one took us just under 10 minutes. I do know a few of the crate missions did drag on, like the odd few ones, especially the ones out at sea. You do get none of those style of missions when doing this. So another style of source vehicle mission might be to race to a certain point in under a certain amount of time. Now don't panic, this might seem a bit tight, but this is easily doable in like a Kuruma or any of those bug standard sports cars or muscle cars. So if you guys own like a Batty 801 or any of those fast motorbikes, very, very easily doable.
Okay, the morality on this one's a little less murky. The car owners bet the pink slip that no one can beat his point-to-point time. Beat it, collect the car, and bring it in.
So as you guys can see, I ended up drawing for my X80 thinking that this was going to be some sort of tough race, and my guy right behind me was in a Kuruma. And just to fully test it, like I said, I am aware that not everyone owns like the most expensive, fastest cars in the game. So whilst I pummeled straight ahead, I told my friend just to stay behind me, keep the pace, because he's going to take me over just to see if he could complete it in his Kuruma. So as you guys can see, I ended up pulling over, he ended up going straight past me, and he was able to easily do it in a Kuruma. I did tell you guys earlier on the video to invest in one of these if you don't own one already, and this is another reason why. It's got decent speed to it. Now like I mentioned, once he goes to the spot, he's just got to go and pick it up because he beat the time. You can call in the heli and just cover him in case he gets any enemies on him, and if he does, as you guys can see, just make sure there's a bit of distance in between the enemies and your friend before you start shooting rockets like you just saw on screen, and it should be very easy and very straightforward. Now a different type of source mission is to head over to the racetrack at the casino and steal a car that's already racing around the track. So initially this might seem a bit difficult, but there's actually going to be a type of car that you need to steal already parked up at the racetrack. So you need to jump in that, jump in the race, and then literally just pick a headshot on the guy.
Some amateur enthusiasts are racing this car around a circuit. Stop it and take it and bring it in. Should be an easy one.
So as I mentioned, that car will be parked up, as you guys can see, near the exit of the racetrack right in front of me. And like I said, I'm doing this with a friend, so he was able just to jump in that one, and I was able to cover him in the heli, just making it so stress-free, especially if you do get online players. That's another factor you guys always have to be aware about if they're coming next to you. I will break down how much they actually get for destroying your vehicle. They don't actually get that much, so you may have noticed that a lot of people ain't even bothered trying to steal vehicles or destroy other people's vehicles. Nonetheless, there is some similar missions to the crate missions. If you guys have done a few crate missions, you'll know that a few times when you go to collect the crates, there'll be like a cop scene there, or you'll just have a whole bunch of cops. And if you do get one of these ones, like I said, the best thing to do is just use your abilities. You can either bribe the cops, you can go off the radar, you can do all of those features, like I said, to make this one extra easy. Or even drive in there straight with a Kuruma, get the cops first and then remove your wanted level, because even when you drive off straight away, it won't be triggered and you won't get cops after you again.
Cops are on the scene. Do what you can, pick it up, and drop it off at the warehouse.
So really just a wide and fun variation of missions. There's another mission where you gotta go to a photo shoot and rob the car. There's another one where you gotta take over the stunt driver and drive it over the Vinewood Hills. And there's one like here that you can hear that you gotta get into a cargo bob and then pick it up and then drive it over the map. So I would always suggest finding another player to do these with and just help each other out. And like I always say in my videos, if you guys don't have that many friends that play GTA 5 online, do be sure to leave a comment down below in the comment section. Leave your gamer tag or your PSN, and I'm sure you guys will be able to find someone and start grinding millions. Now you guys may have noticed earlier when I went onto my laptop in my office, I could source a vehicle, I could buy my old crates from the Finance and Felony. However, there was a third option that I've yet to speak about, and these are called special vehicles. Now as you guys probably saw in my showcase, there's been a bunch of special vehicles that came out of this DLC, ranging from like 1.2 million all the way up to 6 million. Now like I did mention in my DLC showcase videos, you do have the potential to earn a nice million off each vehicle, so get a nice secure reserve discount. To get that discount, you'll basically just have to complete these missions. Now you unlock these missions accordingly to how many vehicles you stole. So as you guys can see here, you steal 2 vehicles, you unlock the first one, and then once I complete 12 source vehicle missions, I'll unlock the Blazer Aqua mission. Like I said, you don't have to do these missions, but these missions are pretty fun considering all of the missions are based around the actual vehicle that we're going to be using. So I'll give you guys a quick example. The first one I ended up doing was the ramp buggy, and it was just pretty much use the ramp buggy to cover my friend on a mission. I think you get anything between 10 to 20k for these missions. I have done the majority of them, but I'm not going to dwell on them too much as they're just like contact missions, very self-explanatory. But if for any reason you guys are struggling on these missions, one of the most valuable tricks I would suggest using, especially if you guys are in a vehicle and you're getting shot a lot and you don't have that much life or body armor, pull up your interaction menu and just hover over your snacks and just always be eating them whenever you're getting shot. Like I said, you can still shoot while hovering over your snacks, and with these special missions, a lot of them are based in this special vehicle, so they're pretty much armored or they can just ram through a ton of objects. Like I said, these are very, very easy, so I'm going to move on from here. Okay, so now we're ready to get into the juicy stuff and how we're going to maximize our money for the most amount of profit. So as I said to you guys straight at the start, don't go ahead and start selling cars individually. When you look around my warehouse right now, you can see I've got a shit ton of cars. I've got options. That's what you guys want when you go to make your sale. You want as many cars as possible. The best option would be to just do 40 cars in here and then start the selling process. But like I said, if you guys want to try and get into the swing of selling already, get a bit of money back from your investments, then go ahead and do so. But like I said, I've got my warehouse about 80% at this moment in time. I do go back and do another sale later on in the video, but I just want to show you guys how I was able to practically double my money from 2 vehicles from doing the exact same sale. So as you guys can see, I've gone into my warehouse, I've gone and sat down on my laptop. Now what you guys want to do to check what collections are available to you is go up to the top right and click on collection. Now I'm going to play out this little mini intro and I'll be back in a second.
Oh yeah, and here's the special collections page. Clients pay extra to buy a full collection at once. If something we got could be included in one, we'll put the image up here. No image means we don't got it. You gotta wait for SecuroServe to send you after one, or hope you run into another crew taking it back. If the full set's here, add it to the export list by hitting Export Collection.
Okay, so as you guys can see, the great thing about these collections is it actually shows you guys an image of the cars you already have in your inventory. So hopefully this makes sense why I told you guys right at the start, try and stock up as many cars as possible. Because if you guys are selling cars individually, you might sell one that you already have in a collection. You're better off having 40 cars and then selling them off in collections. And of course, it's just common knowledge, the more cars you have, the higher chance you guys will have of having one that's in your collection. So as I said, to maybe do every 10 sales, go back to your warehouse and see if you've completed a selection. So for a perfect example of this, as you guys can see, the one that I'm hovering on right now is called Fading Power Collection by Keith Collins MD. Now this is a bit of a lie and a bit of a deception because these ain't high-end vehicles. Right at the bottom it says collection bonus 20k. Well, you're actually going to be getting much more than 20k. It's more like you'll be getting 100k for the whole thing compared to 40k, which I would have got if I would have sold these individually. So all in all, I'm actually earning 60k bonus rather than only 20k. It says 20k because it's like you have to find them two at the same time. But if you was to sell these two, like I said, as you only make 25 commission on one and only 15k commission on another one. So as you guys can see, I've got one of the two cars. So I came back later on the day once I got the car car, and now I'm able to sell it as a collection. So hopefully this should make it much more clear. And now that I'm actually back in my office, as you guys can see, once I go to collections, I'm able to sell both vehicles that I've collected and make 100k. I'm going to get paid 50k per delivery. So you guys will see this once I've made it. Honestly, I was so shocked because it only said 20k, but then when I went to export it, you guys will see it comes up 80k commission. And this is extremely easy. I don't have to invest any money into these cars. I'm able to export them straight away. Now, as you guys can see, $80,000 commission, right? Now, if I was to unclick these two, and if I was to sell both of them at the same time, but through the other menu, through the export menu, you guys are about to see I only get 40k. And that is, like I said, for both of them. That's exactly the same way I wrote to sell it by one, because you can sell up to 4 cars at a time, not as a collection, just as a sale. So don't get it confused. If you guys select 4 different cars from your inventory, that isn't a collection. Collections are from collectors and are a set vehicle. So as you guys can see, I have exactly the same 2 cars right here. However, I'm not getting that bonus if I was to go through the collections menu. Now, surprisingly, the sale for these collection ones are fucking easy as shit. Excuse my language, but considering we're making so much money, it's surprising how easy these are. All you guys have to worry about is online players. You will rarely ever get guys chasing you down, and when you do, they stop chasing you after a certain amount of time, so it's very easy to get away from them. And if you guys are wondering how you get empty public sessions, a lot of methods that have been uploaded before 1.37 have been patched, believe you me. I will be uploading a video in like a day or two showing you guys the best ways to get empty public sessions. But to be honest with you, a lot of guys nowadays, if you're in a game with like 3-4 people, just try and text everyone on your phone and ask, are you friendly? And if you get that one dickhead going around in the jet, just text everyone again and say, kick that guy. And you'll see majority of the time, everyone's just on making money because everything is so goddamn expensive. No one could be asked going around being a dickhead trying to destroy people's stuff. So I'm going to fast forward this gameplay. Another great thing about these sale missions is if one of your cars gets blown up, you do get paid per car delivery. So as you guys are about to see, I get paid 50k as soon as I deliver my car, and then the other 50k rolls in as soon as my friend delivers the other car, taking my total to an insane $100,000. So like I said, we're earning the 80k commission plus the 20 grand bonus rather than the 20k flat rate commission, which might not seem like it's that much when you're comparing it just looking at the website, because it only says 20k bonus. They don't let you know that you're actually earning a 60k bonus by doing it this way, taking your total to 100k profit rather than a little small 40k profit for doing exactly the same thing. So as you guys can see, it did take my friend a little while to get here, and I was kind of worrying, thinking where the fuck was he? And he even drove into the wrong gate. But like I said, take your time with these because you're gonna have no enemies. The only way you're losing money is by scratching the car. So I'd rather wait a little while, let my friend not scratch the car and get a 100% success rate. And as you guys can see, another 49k as soon as he delivers it, taking my total profit from this one sale up to 99k. Pretty much $100,000, which is just mind-blowing for such an easy and straightforward method. Now, of course, what might happen to you guys is you might have a vehicle warehouse full of vehicles. However, you've got no collection set. Like, you've sold a few vehicles here and there and you're unable to sell as a big collection. So you might be thinking, what is the best way to clear up some of my vehicles while still making the most amount of money and still increasing my chances of getting the collections in the future? So what you want to do basically is actually click on the collections page. Now, what I did say earlier to you guys is that there's different types of the same car. So as you guys can see right here, once I'm on my collections page, I actually need a Z type to finish the bottom collection. However, that Z type is called big money. I have a Z type right here, and as you guys can see, it's called CEO. So what I want to do is get rid of that car. So what I can basically do is get another Z type in the future to help complete that collection. Hopefully this is making much more sense with me actually showing you guys gameplay. And what you actually also want to do is try and clear out the high-end vehicles that aren't part of the collection. So as you guys can see, I ended up selecting the FMJ and the ETR1 as well as the Reaper. All 3 of these versions aren't part of any collection I have. I quickly go back and just double check to see that any of these cars aren't in my collection. So when I sell all 4 of these cars now, the chances of me getting a call back with one of these type of cars is highly increased, as well as I'll be making a nice 400,000 commission from selling these cars. If you guys remember from earlier on in the video, when we actually sell them like these as a sale mission rather than collection, we have the chance to add mods to them to increase the value. You can even do this when you're with 4 other players. If you guys are looking to sell 4 cars at the one time, you do have to make sure that all of your crew members or all of your SecuroServe members are inside of your warehouse. So as you guys can see, once you confirm it, you go ahead and sell it. You simply want to follow the instructions. It'll make you change the appearance of the car because obviously we're selling a stolen car. This is part of the norm. I just want to quickly go through that. It doesn't make a difference what you add to it. It's all aesthetics. So just quickly rush through that. You haven't got to do any specific type of design. I did initially think when I first got this that you would have got a text and it would have said, I need gold rims, I need this and this, because you will notice there's a 5-minute countdown in the bottom right, but you can literally just do whatever you want. And honestly, don't waste a lot of time messing around with a car that you're never going to see again. Just quickly get through this because my guy was taking so long. I decided to press start. I went across and I noticed another random person was joining our session. So like I said to you guys earlier, take no risks, especially he's a level 300. He might feel a bit brave now and again, come over in a jet and fuck up my entire money making method. Especially for this video that I've been putting together for 3 days, I would have fucking smashed the TV over someone's face. So as you guys can see, like I said to you guys earlier, simply pull up your phone and simply text someone saying kick that person before they're able to get to you. And the good thing about this is you don't have to write this text out every time. You can literally just send a text, back out, go down to the next person and spam the text out. It's very, very easy. But as you guys can see, there's no rush because you get no enemies on these sale missions. And when you do, it is very, very rare. And the final tip that you guys should always use is off the radar. It's so cheap, it's so efficient, especially when you guys are leaving your warehouse for the first time. You don't want any enemies to see the track or the route that you're taking because usually you're going to have to go on a highway. So if they can see you directing in one certain way, if they're smart enough, they'll just go to the end of the road and wait for you to come and then they'll appear off the radar. So it's better off to appear off the radar first rather than later. However, as you guys are about to see, for every delivery made, I'm going to receive 100k straight into my bank. In the top right, you can see it right now, which is just mind-blowing. That's why I prefer to sell all of the high-end vehicles that I haven't got in the collections, because even if the vehicles ain't high-end, they might come up in a collection in the future, balancing out your money so you're making more on average. So there we go, guys, a big ultimate money-making guide to do with the import-export DLC. I've had tons of comments from you guys asking me if I can put this together, and you know me, I'm not going to put any old shit out there. I'd rather take my time and make sure I cover every single thing so you guys can get straight on with the grind. As always, a like is highly appreciated, especially on this video, considering it took me so long to put together. And if you guys are new around here, do feel free to subscribe and check out more money making methods down below in the description. I've been your host, LaazrGaming. Thanks a lot for watching, guys, and I'll see you in my next video.